Hello and welcome to another miserable day in Victoria. It's been raining cats and dogs for the last few weeks and everything is flooded well and truly. There's lots of people evacuated, etc., etc. And the bad weather is going to continue. Today the snow level that is down to 600 metres, which is pretty low for November. It's pretty low for any time of the year really, but it's very, very low for the middle of November. Okay, let's get into it. It is so cold outside because Ballarat is around about 400 metres above sea level. So we're only just about 200 metres below the snow line predicted for today. So I'm not going to be going outside and doing woodwork. We'll work on a couple of Philips radios today. The three that I got from the auction a few months ago. They're they're identical really, but one has the Mullard case and two has the Philips cases. So I'll start on one of them and we'll go from there. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, the car is well and truly fixed. It is driving in a straight line again, and yeah, it's all good. This is the Philips 115. Let's move this bezel so we can spin the radio around, stay there. This is the Philips 115 and dates from the late 40s, early 1950s. This one has its original back on it, I think. Has the original stickers down here. Yeah, built-in aerial wire to use, built-in aerial, insert the wire in the aerial terminal, disconnect when using external antenna. This is the best of the three. Has the original grill cloth, which is a bit manky, but it'll clean up all right. It's quite a large radio. I think it has an 8-inch speaker in it. Here's the dial. Okay, that's completely bent, so I'm not going to pull that up any further than it is. So we'll pull the knobs off. It does tune, so the dial cord is good. I think these are only a one single band radio, although I could be wrong. So this will be the volume and this will be the tone or the band switch. Actually, I should take the back off and just check that it isn't screwed in place. If you hear a bit of a roar, it'll be the heater coming on because it is so cold. And it's not super cold, but it's around about 6 degrees at the moment outside. So I've had to turn the heating on. Well, the backing board seems to be reasonable. Two stickers. How very kind of them. Well, this needs a good clean out, doesn't it? Yes, there are grub screws in the knobs. How you get to the back one, I don't know, or the front volume control. And can't quite see that. Sure there's a grub screw in there somewhere. 8-inch roller speaker. And yeah, this has all the original things in it. So yes, so I'm going to try bringing it up on the Variac before I do anything else to it. So we'll be back. Okay, so let's turn it on, and whoops, we're on full, we're on dim, and the globe is glowing quite dimly. So there's no actual shorts in it. Not hear anything. Some heat in that, yeah. That one is completely cold. Okay, so I would say, at a guess, that the capacitors are completely gone. So we'll have a look. Maybe there's a few other things wrong in there as well. So we're going to add the case and we'll go from there. Rightio, I've cheated. I'm repairing the Mullard now because I just couldn't easily get the knobs off the other Phillips one. So this hasn't been plugged in or turned on. This looks to be in a fair bit better condition. It's not rusty at least. So I'm going to reach over and adjust the Variac. I'll have to move the Variac, I think. So we're at 140 volts. No dial lights or anything. So we'll bring it up a bit. Excuse me if I get in the way. So up to 220. Not a sausage. No heat. I think I have this turned off at the back, do I? No. So this one looks completely dead. Okay, let's try testing all the valves as a starting point, and we'll go from there. Well, that seems to be good. So that's the 5Y3 or rectifier valve. I've taken the EL33 out of the rusty chassis. The other one doesn't have a valve in there at all. There is a 6V6 in the Mullard. But this is rattling, so I'm not sure this is going to work at all. If it doesn't, we're pretty much dead in the water, because I have two other radios that need EL33s and I just can't get them. This is really, really filthy. Strange, you would think the one with the back on it would be clean, but I'll be really surprised if this works. But you never know. Absolutely nothing. Oh no, it is coming up. Wow. Can't be that good, can it? Must have a short in it. I have the valve tester all set up for shorts, so let's turn it on. And the neon, which is behind there, which you probably can't see, no, that is actually glowing. So we have no bananas, so I'm going to test the transformer for voltage. Okay, so let's have a look at the other one. Third time lucky, maybe. So we'll bring this up. No lights again. 5Y3 is stone cold. So I don't know whether we've got a bad transformer again. So I'll turn it off and I'll have a test of that. And we're not getting any voltage in. Does that go through that switch? Is that a switch there, or? Should really look on the schematic, shouldn't I? Ah, 180 volts. 109. 123. 113. 109. 260. And 44. Well, that's promising. I can't actually get to the pins on the 5Y3, so this is why I'm doing it this way. So we are getting power into the set. I'll try a known good 5Y3. I've partially recapped it. I've done all the ones on the left hand side. I still have this one, this bunch here, but up here is one of the electrolytics, the 24, and I'm going to have to take this switch out. This is the power 240 volts that's coming in, and down here is the volume control. This is just one big mess. These caps attached to the tone control sections of this switch here. So this is really, you can see all the muck coming out of it too maybe. So I'm going to tackle that, which I'm not looking forward to. This does screw off from the side, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get off, but we'll see how we go. Be back soon. I've done all the caps on this. I've rewired some of the wiring, and I've cleaned this wafer switch over here, which is right on the edge of the frame. So we'll bring this back. Yep. So this wafer switch over here has been cleaned and reassembled. Seems to work quite well. So that is the off position, fully anti-clockwise, and then we have 1, 2, 3 tone positions, which are these capacitors here. So that's a 0.003, 0.1 and a 0.01. Over here I've done some work. I was going to replace this wire, but as this is floating at the moment, I'll have to work out how to secure it there. Although it doesn't seem too bad, it's just hanging on this wire here. The same with this one over here too, it's just floating at the moment. So I think I can work out how to secure this one, but this one I'll have to maybe use hot snot or glue, heat gun glue. Yes, so I'm going to put the 240 volts back on and put the speaker terminals back. I'll reattach the speaker. As you can see, it is pretty disgusting down in there. So I'll take that outside and clean it all out. It seems to have a maker's mark there or something. It's a squiggle. So I'll take this outside and give it a good clean. By the way, they used something like this as an aerial up on the top of the radios. As you can see here. I'm not sure that it's exactly the same stuff, but I tried it on another Philips radio a few years ago and it seemed to work. So this is This is very expensive, this stuff, so I don't use it all that often. Yes, it's quite expensive, and it's, yeah, very expensive in fact. But it does work. Whether I'll use it on this particular cabinet or not is another matter. Well, the speaker has come up surprisingly well. The grill cloth isn't too bad. It is just marked where the physical grill on the cabinet is touching the cloth. I'm not sure that I can, well, I could probably do much better, but it's vacuumed up quite well. And I don't know whether you can see the different tones, but the edge around here, which hasn't caught the sun or anything like that, is perfect. But this area around here has just been, had the dust fall down into it and it's been ground in over the years. I've reconnected the speaker, the power, which isn't particularly safe, but I can't find any proper cloth covered power cord at the moment. So I'll have to buy some of that on the next meeting on Saturday, I guess. So we'll turn it up. We'll turn the power up and we'll see how we go. So we're at 130 volts now, 140. 160. 180, 190, 200, and it's working. Okay. So we're having howling. All right. I'll just see if it's actually picking these stations up, which is not going to be easy because the weight of the radio is on the tuning. I know what's missing. So we'll turn it off. And we'll put a valve in it, because there's nothing in the front end. Let's try again. 145. 170. 180. 97, 98, 200. So it should be working. 205. Yes, we still have the howling. So I suspect that something isn't routed properly or routed properly, or one of the valves needs shielding or something like that. So I'm going to have a play around with it and we'll be back. I suspect it could be this over here, because this has got quite a long wire hanging out of it. So I might reroute this back over here and shorten it right up. So we'll see how we go with that. Right, that's done. So let's turn up the voltage and see what happens. Well, that's better, believe it or not, but we still haven't fixed it, have we? This goes incredibly loud. Now the other area it could be is up. Actually, move these out of the way. Could be this arrangement here, because the wiring used to go up that way. So I'll move this out if I can. Because this was in a shielded can. So let's move this. It's around the speaker wires, but see if that makes any difference. No. I wonder what's causing it. Okay, it could be one of the valves. So I'll change that EL33, which is dodgy at the best of times, with a 6V6. I know it's not a direct replacement. Some things are a little bit different, but they are a direct swap out, because that's making a rattling noise. Now, one of the other radios has a 6V6. It's not a modern, in inverted commas, 6V6. It's the old Coke bottle style one, but we'll see if it works. Yes. Don't have howling. Now I do have all the LED lights on and all those noisy things. I have to reroute the aerial. So let's turn it over carefully without, in fact I'll turn it off while I do this. Now it's during the day, so I'm not expecting to get very much. anything at all. I'll turn off the lights and we'll bring it up to full voltage. So it's only on 170 volts at the moment. It's still doing it. That's just the lights cooling down, that crackling. We're on 170 volts. So let's try other valves. That one's getting warm. This one is slightly warm. So I haven't tested these two valves, or that one actually as well. So I'll do that and we'll be back.